Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Thursday, the 21st of August, 2025. Starting off with the synoptic and looking yesterday lunchtime to begin with. You can see that weak cold front that did eventually, I think, pass us. We got a bit of a clearance, but it was fairly solid, sort of stratus all day. So not quite the day we were expecting, but I think we made the most of it. Overnight, very little change. That front's dissipated and clear to the south by now. No significant features, with relatively high pressure still the dominant feature. And that continues in today with high centred just off to the south of Ireland there. No real uh, impact there. It's going to be much the same case with the sort of medium to low level stratus and just quite how quickly that burns off. Midnight, likewise, nothing really to write home about. And into Friday and the weekend. Low pressure starting to get a bit closer and possibly a little bit of frontal activity to follow, but unlikely to see anything until into next week. On Monday, you can see there's quite a lot of weather, a fairly deep low, potentially getting to us around Tuesday lunchtime. Looking at the sat pic this morning, you can see quite still a bit of that low level cloud hanging around in our part of the country, thinning to the south and west, but fairly thick to the north. Rain radar, very little to discuss there. A couple of light showers out to the east and northeast of London, nothing that's going to cause us particular bother. And looking at the Met Office prediction, running that through. So the possibility we might get a small shower coming in from the northeast upwind, probably sort of mid-morning. Otherwise, nothing to affect us for the remainder of today. Odium TAF, they're giving 010 degrees, 9 knots, so similar to yesterday. Visibility is greater than 10 kilometers, and few clouds at 1,400, bigger part 1,700 feet, then broken at 4,500. There's prop 30 between this sort of early to mid-morning that will have scattered at 1,700. Farnborough, on the other hand, they're giving us a variable at 5 knots. Visibility greater than 10 and scattered at 2,000. Spot winds, the south, northeasterly 10 knots, and to the north, it's also northeasterly at 10 knots. So we can expect something along those lines at soaring height today. You can see on the windy forecast here, once again, a north to northeasterly flow across the airfield. A little bit calmer than yesterday, so we'll be operating certainly runway 09 to begin, and that could be on review if required. And you can see here the local Met Office forecast giving us strengths of between 7 and 8 knots for the bulk of the day, gusting up to 18 later on. Visibility should be reasonable with a moderate humidity level and still fairly high UV. Interestingly, here the Met Office suggesting that we'll have quite a lot of thicker cloud and then beginning to rise and open up sort of mid to late afternoon. So it's interestingly quite pessimistic compared to some of the other forecasts. Temperature with the GFS here is giving us about 21 degrees today with a dew point of 8. The webcam here, that was at 10 past 8 this morning. You can see it's a little bit of a clearance over the top of us with some sort of thin cirrus and or rise up at the very top, and quite a thick bank of cloud downwind to the west. If we just refresh that, you can see it's filled in slightly, but not a great issue there. So it's going to be a case of seeing what this cloud does for us today. Temperature locally 13.7 with a dew point of 9.9 so far. And if we look to SkySight now, on the left-hand side of the screen here is an excerpt from the potential flight distance. And that's showing poor in our area relatively, but certainly an improvement to the west and northwest. Just zooming that out slightly. Let's see. We get down into this area here. There's fairly reasonable conditions. On the right-hand side of the screen is the local point forecast. And you can see they're also suggesting quite a lot of low-level clouds, although with some cumulus as well, beginning to open up sort of early to mid-afternoon before finally blowing out into the evening. Climbs initially sort of to 3,500 feet, peaking later into the day to 4.5 above Lasham, with levels ranging between 3.5 and 4.5 knots. Top meteors cloud distribution for 9 o'clock local. Let's bring it back an hour. So showing some thin also cumulus over our area. We run it through. By I was starting to see the cumulus form about 10 o'clock, but still maintaining a fair bit of this auto queue in our area. Some thinner queue out to the west of us and then blue beyond that. And blowing out locally around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon before this band of cirrus comes in from the northwest. So it could potentially be a reasonable day if you can get away from Lasham, but I think the conditions locally will be suppressed somewhat by the potential quite thick cloud. NOTAMs, nothing of great significance today. To the west at 27. But days will be active this afternoon. 38 to the north, we have paragliding at some White Horse. And over just to the north of that again at 48, that's Little Rissington, their ATZ is active. 34, that's West Ilsley, and they'll be winch launching the paragliders to 1,400 feet. And to the west of us there, it's 41 for the Aston Down comps. And west again beyond that is the temporary danger area in 7. Moving on now to the local element of the brief. Dollar bookings, so we've got 2 K21s for booked instruction, 2 on 5-day courses, and there's a K21 on the casual list. We have a K13 assigned to trial lessons today, and we have some reasonable amount of single-seater availability. At the moment, there's nobody on the casual list. The simulator is available as normal. So again, the reminder for the Boyne expedition, space is week 3. Get in touch with the office to secure one. Movements today, we have a 737 departure, and that's scheduled for 12:35 local. So we'll deal with that as it comes. In summary, high pressure is dominating the stratus to begin, hopefully burning off, becoming blue to the west. Just depends what it's going to do overhead at Lasham itself. And we can expect a northeasterly flow on the ground. Cables will be runway 09 on the south side grass. And a reminder, instructors, please do not brief at the front of the queue. As always, do not land or taxi across the disused runways shown in red. And there's our airfield set up to finish with the winch on the south grass, rotating from the hard. And if there were to be any requirement for a grid, that would be in the usual place on the north side grass in the top corner. That's all from me today. Let's have a good day, keep it safe, and we'll see you out there. Thank you.